Hey, what's up, Flannelverse? We are back with another week of Mondays with math. We're going to take another look at the marathon. We looked at it a little bit last week. As a reminder, Mathology put up the highest scoring team in all of Ball Mania in the regular season last year, number one out of 672,000 teams. He was also sixth place in the Dog Bowl. Really excited to be doing these shows with Mathology, and the focus on the marathon kind of same kind of a concept as regular season best ball, where it's just you're trying to put up the most points. You got to be consistent week over week, put up huge spike weeks as well. So this is fun to look at this with Mathology. But Math, it's a beautiful day there in Vermont. So we're trying to get out of here a little bit quicker today, so you can get out on the lake, right?
Yeah, I would like to go have some dinner out on Lake Champlain this afternoon. It's a balmy 92 with a lot of humidity, full sun. And the key for Lake Champlain is the wind, and there's not a lot of wind today, so it's going to be gorgeous out there. So
sounds pretty awesome. Yeah,
like
we'll get in out of here.
Yeah, but happy birthday, Neil.
Thank you. Yeah, my birthday.
Saw that next. Happy
2 days ago.
Birthday.
Math's birthday was a month ago, so we are not that far apart in birthdays. And people might be shocked to hear Mathology actually older than me. I was a little bit surprised to hear that you're older than me. I knew that we were close, but yeah.
Yeah, young in spirit, Neil.
That's right. Right.
And then you got a big purchase. I saw you got a man's coin this past.
I did. Week. I got him. I don't have it right here. Shoot, I should have had it here so I could just hold it up and show people my man's coin.
For Neil.
I know, that was pretty exciting. I mean, that was like my birthday present to myself, the man's coin. Although it wasn't actually from me. It's from Lou. Lou sent it to me free of charge. Yeah. So I guess that was Lou Dog's birthday present to me. Thank you, Lou Dog. Yeah. Awesome. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Hartman, Bindles. Good to see all of you. Disbanded Brotherhood. Back at you. All right, we're going to get back into looking at. And I got to change the screen here. We're going to look at the. Math put together a new PDF for this week for us to discuss, and now I'm not finding where it is. Hang on one sec. Here we go. There we go. All right. So this is the same one. We looked at this slide last week. It factors in points that we're expecting teams to put up, offensive line rankings. Remind me what exactly went into fantasy goodness here.
Overall projected points scored for the first 17 weeks per Vegas, implied team total, plus O-line with 3 different rankers, plus strength of schedule. Spit that out, kind of balance it all out the same, and then whoever kind of had the lowest points added up to that equals this kind of the goodness purity of teams that, for me, going after drafting good players on good teams, these are the type of teams on the top half that I want to go after. And then there's some caveats, such as looking at offenses that might condense down where, the old Vikings back in the day when it was just JJ and Thielen, and you had like 80% of the offense. Like we're trying to find those type of offense that are going to condense down, with good market value.
Okay. So generally here, the lower the number, the better. So it kind of looks like Buffalo Bills would be the best here, Tampa Bay second, et cetera, based on the purity score. We talked about this last week. Added the Titans in here, but otherwise it's the same slide as last week. So you can take a screenshot of it if you want to. But we'll move on. We're like we said, trying to move quickly today. Hopefully we're going to get a draft in. We'll see whether we have time for a draft. But I'll move on.
Yeah, and try to layer in 3 team bets on the top half if I can. Really trying to really lean into that and try to get 3 good sized team bets, which is 2 or 3, sometimes 4. So if you can get 2 Bills, 2 Broncos, and then like Atlanta stack, that to me, that's a high floor with ceiling team. And then you hope you hit some wide receivers, say somewhere else, and other running backs on good teams. Is how I'm trying to layer all that in. And after 18 rounds, I have that type of build. And that's what kind of shook out for me last year. And the teams that actually did well to get to advance week 15 and into 16. And granted, I didn't get any BBMs into 17, but I had 7 teams in the semis, and I was like top 2 in a couple of them. Oof. All very similar teams. I just didn't quite have the right combo, but I feel like it's a strong way to build and put yourself up for success come December.
So you also gave the advice last week of map it out beforehand, which so I admittedly I did one marathon draft yesterday, but I entered it when it was like 4 out of 12 and then completely forgot, and it filled when I was in, and I forgot to map it out ahead of time. So it started when I was in the middle of 2 fast draft chow chows. So I'm doing these 2 chow chows. So I did not post it to our Discord because I was really unhappy with my team. But what I found really quickly was, oh yeah, I should have mapped this out because the ADPs are way different. So I kind of thought like, oh, I'll be able to figure it out on the fly. But then so I took Derrick Henry in the first round. I was like, all right, this will be math approved, taking Derrick Henry in the first round. And then I thought, hopefully, maybe I'll have a shot at getting Lamar Jackson in the third round. And he was gone a full round before my turn came back. It's just a little bit different. So that was some good advice that I wish I had taken to map out the draft before jumping in. But I kind of forgot that I'd entered it by the time it actually filled. All right, let's move on to slide number 2. So a friend of mine, Fantasy Guru Drew, put out a tweet thread yesterday comparing. So he's looking at Vegas totals for teams and various factors, and then comparing it to the ADP of those teams' top 5 players. And I think we agree maybe that there are some teams where it's like, all right, it seems like this might be relevant for this team. And then other teams where it's like, well, you can kind of explain away why that might be the case. So let's talk about, are there any teams in particular like Cincinnati? So that's the top score here. What do you think of Cincinnati as being a team that we should target based on their, ADP relative to their purity score?
Yeah. So again, on the purity score, they don't rank out very well because of the O-line problems and the strength of schedule. I mean, but they're up there in points, as you see that, like the third column in, that's points per game is what he used in this chart, and they're ranked third for points per game. So I think it's an offense that we want to jump in. But I think we all know, especially if you're watching a stream on the marathon, that that the Cincinnati Bengals are all super high in ADP, other than their last. It's really their fifth and sixth guy way down. It's Gesicki, I think it's like probably 180. So that to me, like, this is a little fraudulent of a plus 19, because 4 of them are pretty much taken by the 6th round. So I don't think there's a whole lot that we can take away with, other than like, yeah, we want some Bengals when it lines up nicely. But for me, like for confirmations bias, they're extremely high on my score, but also here the Bills, the Broncos, and you look at like where they're at and what their ADPs are. Like the Broncos 180 or 481. So the Broncos, really good offense, gonna score high. So those, I know we hear it a lot of times, those backdoor stacks, and I really feel like people got to move that backdoor stacks up sooner and getting into the window by taking like Bo Nix. I know people don't love that price, but I think he's going to pay off that ADP in a pretty strong way. From everything that I'm seeing, the only caveat to that is their defense is supposed to be legit nasty, like just outstanding. So part of me is like, okay, maybe not like a full team stack, but like a running back and a wide receiver, because they could be one of those teams that just blow people out, and they're running the ball, and J.K. Dobbins is just deflating the football the second half, and he could be a high advance rate type of player. That I got a lot in early BBM and early drafting. I've kind of cooled off a little bit, but part of that is like maybe I should keep taking that, because it could be a really strong bet still.
You mean J.K. Dobbins or the Broncos in general?
Yeah, and Broncos in general too. Yeah, I'm trying to get more Harvey. I was hoping that Harvey was going to fall quite a bit and kind of play the market, but he's pretty much anchored at that 5-6 turn.
Yeah, it seems like he and Trevion Henderson right now are just like, they're a pair. It's like you pick your favorite of the two, mix them up, whatever. But like they have not moved from that turn at all. Maybe with a little camp buzz, they'll move up a little bit. Maybe if one of them fumbles, we'll see a little dip. But yeah, as of right now, does not feel like they're moving much at all. Slappies do love. I'm a Slappy who loves RJ Harvey. I've struggled. I go back and forth on J.K. Dobbins at his new price. Yeah, he seems like he was probably a great price early on, but now I'm like, I struggle with it a little bit.
But again, like the elite, there's a big drop off after 10. So I kind of wanted to screenshot that. But like, look at these teams, playoff teams, good quarterbacks. For me, good strength of schedule, good old lines. Like, these are the teams that you want to keep kind of betting on, and then hoping you can kind of layer them in together on a build. So again, when you're thinking about what I want to do, just know, like, when you got the one, try to get a little bit of chase and chase. I've been doing a lot of that, letting Higgins go or going Higgins and chase Brown, that is. And then not touching Burrow, just taking two of them and then trying to build a different type of, bringing up Allen or bringing up Lamar with those guys versus Joe Burrow, or if you get a Jaden fall, just doing stuff like that where it's a little bit kind of correlated bets. The same thing, Green Bay. I think Green Bay is really strong, and I think the market is just pretty much throwing shit on the wall that hopefully one of those wide receivers hit between Reed and Golden, and Wicks is going in the 18th round now pretty frequently that I've been seeing.
Romeo Dobbs pretty late.
Romeo Dobbs is so there's they're getting a lot of clicks on Green Bay side, and I think it's warranted. I think they're going to be a high scoring team. I do worry about them deflating the football in the second half a little bit, not being chased, but if they're being pushed, there could be a team that you could be in those wacky games where it's 40-35, and it's that's the game of the week that we needed all, stack up to advance or to win those battle royals or the DFS games if you're playing salary cap. Those are team environments that we want to be on.
Yeah, Green Bay seems like a pretty good one. Like this metric, I'm like, yeah, I kind of buy it. Like we're because we're undecided, but probably somebody is going to rise up there. Maybe not, because we didn't really see it last year, where I kind of had the expectation that somebody would separate and become the true wide receiver one. Didn't happen last year, but I still think it's more likely than not that we are going to see somebody who's going to separate, and then we're going to wish that we had somebody from Green Bay outside of just Josh Jacobs this year. I think, and at the very least, Jordan Love seems like a pretty good bet with Green Bay projected for. I guess 11th most points is not a ton, but yeah, seems like a pretty strong bet to get somebody there from Green Bay. And any other teams that you specifically want to call out here that you really like or dislike?
I like them all. I mean, I one thing that I'm always chasing is touchdowns, especially like underdraft or underdog drafts. Is any team that can score 3 touchdowns a week versus the ones that are going to be kind of projected for 2. You're really going to be able to separate week after week throughout this. Especially if you're tackling the marathon or if you're just trying to build high floor, high ceiling teams. The more you can layer in these players on these teams, you're going to be more successful and you're going to advance more teams with the pod luck. Or if you're playing the marathon and you just want to cash teams, that's kind of how I'm taking the marathon. I'm going to draft 50 probably in the marathon, and I'm looking to cash. I would love to cash 20, like half of them if I could. Something like that. I think it could be a nice little ROI, and maybe I can find that top 1%er. We don't know, but that's the goal. I mean,
if you can cash that many teams, I think you're going to be in a pretty good spot. That's I would love to. I'm pretty sure the team I drafted last night is not going to cash. It was so bad. I needed you there for me to show me how.
Well, and again, if you're new to the show, if you didn't watch last week, you go back and watch it for sure. But again, the marathon quarterbacks and running backs get drafted a whole lot earlier, so you got to have a plan in place, or you're going to get caught with your pants down.
Yeah. I panic picked Jalen Hurts at pick 40 because I was planning on taking Jaden Daniels, and then he went at 39, and I got over there with like 5 seconds left. I was like, I don't know what to do. Just took Jalen Hurts. So it was not ideal. All right. Building strategy consideration in volatile rooms. Yeah. So you got to understand the quarterback pockets, just as you were saying. But is that true? Like throughout the draft, quarterbacks go early?
Yes. And unstacked. There's not a whole lot of stacking going on in the marathon that I've been seeing. There's a couple rooms. If you get lucky, people will kind of stay in their same lanes. It's not like BBM rooms whatsoever. It's just constantly, they're just kind of medium projected kind of draft rooms that I've seen. People could be using a tool and just kind of selecting the best player that their tool is giving them. So you kind of have a lot of that. They're not trying to correlate a team bet environment. It's just trying to kind of hit 18 leg parlays that I'm seeing in these rooms. So I like reaching ahead for my running backs and my quarterbacks, get like 3 good running backs by 6 and getting in try to elite or a top tier quarterback by round 6 as well as and just taking those dart throws on those good wide receivers tied to a good quarterback that are going to score points. As best I can. It's a little bit different than BBM. Definitely wide receivers go a lot earlier in BBM. But it's a good way to attack this marathon. And then
Yeah.
try to get those running backs again, especially if you do fall behind, reach for a good running back on a good team. I think it's going to be very important that you just got some touchdown upside. Hopefully those kind of goal line backs are going to be very important for your team to be able to cash in the marathon or to get to that top 1% outcome.
Do you have specific running backs that you think you draft a lot? Like, are you drafting a ton of James Conner, of James Cook, and anybody else that you
Kamara, James Cook? I think Kamara is going to be able to hold off everybody again this year. There's not much competition. Everything that the head coach has been saying, it's going to be kind of Philadelphia South. I think he's going to try to build through the running game. They got a good offense. They spent a lot of money on offensive line play. I think he's going to use a lot of the same types of plays that he used in Philly. So I think it's going to be a little Philadelphia South and Saints. The only issue then, they could get boat race because their defense, and then they got to throw the ball. But then Camaro is one of those cheat code guys through the passing game. And granted, it's only a half-point PPR site, but he could get a ton of work, ton of volume, pay off that 5th-round ADP pretty easily. Granted, he goes a little bit 4th, 5th in the marathon, so you got to jump on that pretty early.
Yeah, but you think it's still worth it there? I mean, the passing game is still pretty important, even in half PPR, even in like 0 PPR, still getting the yards and stuff. So
I think Kamara for me, especially in the marathon, is a priority. And then that's it, just one Saint and done. Maybe if you get a Olave fall, you could put a little bet with Kamara Olave and then shut it down. There's no need to stack a quarterback unless you have a luxury pick there at the end and you're not chasing running back and wide receivers late. So good old lines, stout DSTs, that's the biggest thing is, when you are like a 0 RB or if you're doing like a lot of 0 RB and you're falling behind in the marathon, like your goal line backs are gone. Like it's so hard to build out a running back room because they're just going to be on bad offenses, or if they are, they're RBs, pass catching RBs on really good offensive line, or a good stout defense. So it's just like when you're in that game environment, they're going to be up ahead a lot. There's not going to be a lot of checkdowns to the running backs. I mean, that's kind of gone by the wayside in the NFL anyway. So I really try to get teams that I know they're going to be advancing, winning games, 10 plus winning teams, getting their running back. So, I mean, I know it's a little bit up in the air and there's a lot out there, but like right now, Najee Harris to me is like, I'm catching that falling knife right now.
You are okay.
I got him in the 140s, 150s. I think that's going to be a gift. We'll talk about that, but I think that's going to be a gift.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about those on the next slide, because it'll be interesting to hear the differences in how we're playing that situation. Well, one final, if not elite tight end, just stack it up or condense. So you're saying if you elite, are you talking top 3 or like where do you draw the line there?
Yeah, like Kittle, the top 3. So if you're not getting one of those, just try to stack up your tight ends with your quarterback. I think is very important. I think that correlation is very powerful in the marathon and just a high floor, high ceiling type of build. And then also just look for those rooms that could super condense on you. If it's the Rams, Tyler Higbee or the rookie, that could be a very condensed offense. Historically, the Rams are very condensed. So those kind of McVay, Shanahan type of offenses, those are the type of offense we want to try to maybe just pluck a tight end to give us some potential, touchdowns throughout the season.
Well, what do you think of like the Giants or the Panthers? Like they're not great teams, but like as far as condensing offenses go, it feels like one of those tight ends could be like 3rd in target share or something. Maybe take a step forward. What do you think?
Exactly. I agree. I agree with those offenses and how they're going to probably play a little bit. I think it's definitely a dart throw worth taking, and they're super cheap. They go at the end of the draft, so it's very nice to tack those on. And those are the things that I'm thinking about before I enter a draft. And then definitely I try to be very flexible as the draft goes. If I get sniped or whatever, it's like, okay, this guy's gone. all right, I'm going to try to move to this team, you know, and I got my list of the 10 or 12 teams that I want to invest in. And I try to stay within those 10, 12 teams. And then I have a couple player takes that are layered into my decision point. But the idea is I have a well thought out plan. So there's no scenario that overcomes me that makes me have bad selections.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about this. Is the fun part to me, is talking about how we're talking about what we're doing with these different situations.
Yeah.
So let's start. This is work down. So Mixon Chubb. Are you still drafting Mixon? Where are you willing to draft him? And then are you moving Chubb and or Woody Marks up your board?
Yeah, so I've been battling this one. I don't think have came to my conclusion. I was really watching Best Ball Breakfast like a hawk today to try to see where Mixon was going in some of these rooms. I jumped in a draft and I did not select, but like Mixon was getting close to pick 100, and I'm like, man, at that price, I think that's worth it, because again, the coach speak is just coming out just in the last like 10 minutes, you know, just kind of being private, like just,
Yep.
Hey, his injury, it's a little privacy thing. I'm not telling you right now. Again, we don't know the severity of it, but it could just be like, he's a vet. He's going to be ready for week 1. We could all look super stupid right now. And just letting him fall so far because he's going to get the full workload. But I do think it adds that definitely the fall is going to be happening, and it's just risk tolerance. I'm looking at my portfolio, and I had a decent amount of mixing. I think he's like top 10 running back in my portfolio right now. So I'm kind of letting it slide, and I might grab a couple shares as the contest ends, the draft season ends. But I kind of feel like my bags are packed at a worse cost, but it is what it is, and I gotta just let it happen. Try to win other ways.
Yep, that's just gonna happen. I'm struggling with it. I think currently I don't think I've drafted Mixon since the injury. And I've just been drafting a lot of Chubb, a little bit of Woody Mark. So I've moved Nick Chubb up to like rank of like 150. So I'm drafting him ahead of his ADP pretty significantly right now. Woody Marks have just moved up to like a 17th round value type thing. Are you drafting much Nick Chubb, or do you plan to draft much Nick Chubb, or do you think like you don't want to take a shot on him in an uncertain situation behind a bad offensive line? Anyway, where are you at there?
So I early, like when the contest dropped, when he wasn't signed by anybody, I kind of got a lot of niche. He was like my most drafted running back for the first maybe month or plus. I was getting a lot of 18th round because I knew he was going to sign. He was going to play football somewhere, and I knew he was going to probably have the goal line back no matter what. And he was going to go somewhere to win football games. So like good players on good teams, like that's what I like to do. So like I knew he's a good player. He's going to get a good team. He's going to have a decent line. There's a good chance that he could get 10 touchdowns in the 18th round. That's worth the risk for me. So I had a lot of early shares, and I haven't been really chasing them up the board that much. But I wouldn't mind probably dabbling in here and there, especially like a contest like the marathon where I don't have any of them. Because I just really started drafting because I wanted to wait till all the news happens and take advantage of these bottle rooms that we have right now, where you have these massive falls. Like Mixon's going to be falling, and there's a way that you can, get the right value for it and pay out a big way, because then you just created a super team.
No, that's Mixon probably a great bet, particularly in like the marathon. Although like he's more likely to miss time at the beginning of the season, I guess. I don't know. I struggle with because he has had recurring injuries, so I'm just like, all right, I'm staying away for now. But I think around pick 100, maybe I'll get back in there. What are you doing with Jennings? Pearsall now off the pup list. Ayuk, I think, is also an interesting conversation here. I'm like completely out on Ayuk, which could look foolish pretty soon. What are you doing with the Niners receivers?
Yeah, Niners up. I mean, again, Niners are big on my purity scoring, so they're a big team, and I've just been kind of where I can get them. Try to do a mega team stack. I've been scooping up. I think the Niners are a gift at all costs, and I love seeing Ayuk in the hundreds, and I've just been taking that. Because again. Yeah, because it's like if you're grabbing them as your fourth or fifth wide receiver and you're not done, and hopefully you have a good player like a Douglas or something like that late that can kind of carry you through the first 4 weeks if he's a little bit slow to ramp up. I think having Ayuk available to you in the second half of the season on a team that's going to score a lot of points could be valuable. So I think right now Jennings is a gift. Probably the Houston guys for me are a little bit of as a grift right now.
Okay. Yep. No, I've been taking a ton of Jennings, trying to get a little bit more Pearsall. He also Pearsall goes in that range where it's like I don't love anybody around like the 71, 72, that kind of range. It's like, all right, I'm choosing between Olave and Pearsall and Godwin dealing with his injury. So I never really feel great about who to pick there. So I've been sometimes I reach a little bit for Pearsall there. Yeah, he's an interesting one. Mooney, another guy that I haven't been drafting a ton, just kind of figuring he's probably going to fall a little bit. Although now they're saying not a serious injury, so I guess we'll wait and see on that. If that ends up being true, what are you doing with Mooney?
Yeah, again, the Atlanta Falcons for me are a buy. So it's a gift for me. I like seeing his ADP fall and scooping that up. I'm not too concerned about early camp injuries, but again, it's all based on your risk tolerance. But I think Atlanta's their defense might be pretty loose, and they could find themselves in a lot of shootouts.
Yeah, absolutely. I was drafting Mooney prior to the injury, and then I read some things that were suggesting it could be months depending on what it is, but it sounds like it's we probably avoided the worst there. Bigsby, ETN, Tootin. I mean, this is just today we get news that Bashal Tootin has a hamstring injury. Not expected to miss much time, but do not love that. He's one of my highest drafted players. Now we're getting a lot of buzz on Bigsby. Where are you at on the Jags backfield?
Yeah, so at first, like when all these contests just open and the uncertainty, and so I was grabbing a lot of ETN when he was below Tootin because of the draft costs and everything. Everybody got excited. So when ETN started climbing is when I flipped, and then when Tootin started dropping, I've been kind of grabbing that. But I'm kind of at market, and then right now, lately, it has been a lot of tank in the 150s. But as he's moving up now, I feel like that might be more of a grift. But overall, after really doing these deep dives that I am now, and where I'm at right now is I just want the Jacksonville passing game, and I don't even know if I want to touch the running game. Their O-line's not going to be very good. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to be scheming up more through the passing game than they are with these big rushing lanes that we saw Tampa Bay have, because they just don't have the offensive line to open up these holes for these running backs.
Yeah, that's interesting because I've taken a ton of Tootin. Like I said, one of my highest drafted running backs. I've been thinking I do need to get more in on Bigsby, but it's all like I don't want to do it while everybody else is doing it. Like I'm not going to chase him up to pick 130 if they're when there's quarterbacks like in that range or other picks. So I'm like when he's there at 150 and I need a running back, I'm clicking a lot more Bigsby right now. But I'm not going out of my way to get a ton because he's still not like a great pass catcher. People saw one little clip of him catching a pass today, like 4 yards down the field, and everybody's losing their mind. No, I don't think he's a great pass catcher. I still think we have two other running backs to worry about there. So I'm not like trying to really chase him, but I'm trying to mix in a little bit more Bigsby right now. To me, these next two are the most interesting to me. So Najee and Hampton, sounds like you and I are playing this one quite differently. And I, like you said about another situation, I could feel pretty foolish about this if it turns out Najee is totally fine. Do you think it's like, what is your expectation here? Are you just making the bet that like he's going to be back at some point and he's a guy that the coaches love? What's your thought process?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a 1-2 punch. I don't think Hampton's going to be like a 80, 90%. It's going to be 60-40, 50-50. I really think the Najee stuff come week one, he's going to be playing. He's not going to miss any time. I already got photos of him. He's all dressed up in the gear. He's wearing shades because, again, eye sensitivity right now just got to heal a little bit. He's probably on week 3 now. It's probably a 3 to 6 week, recovery time. There's a great shot that he's ready for week 1. Granted, he's not going to get the reps with the offensive line. Still got to know the playbook, but he's got plenty of time to learn the playbook. I do think that both are gifts right now, to be honest with you, because Najee's falling that far. He's falling really far. Whereas like you can get him as an RB5 right now, and then you could be done. best case scenario, if he then has the goal line, which I expect him to get with that really good offensive line. Kind of being that big package guy, and they could push him if they wanted to, and all that stuff.
So the way I've been playing it is Najee might be out for the year. So I guess like I hear what you're saying. So you gave the great tidbit last week of like you deal with eye injuries in your work. It could be absolutely nothing. It's just like every photo of him is like he's wearing a hoodie, like covering his face completely in the huge shades, and it's just like he's covering his entire.
There's a new one today. He's not wearing. He's got a hat, and I don't even know has a hat. Just has glasses though, and you're gonna have that for our eye sensitivity a little bit because again, he's putting ointment in the eye. It needs a little bit of time. It's just a sensitivity thing, and they don't want him sweating either, getting the eye and all that stuff. But it's not like he doesn't have an eye type of thing. Like he's gonna be fine.
They would have cut him by now if he didn't have an eye. So I think the initial report's clearly wrong. It's just like there's, and I think you said that like eye injuries typically do recover faster than other injuries. I'm just like, it's still like he needs like good vision. So like I'm a little bit concerned about like, could it be not fully healed by the start of the season? And at that point, are they really gonna like if Hampton's playing well? I don't know. It's a tricky situation, but I think you make a good point that they could just be both buys right now. Like I think Hampton pretty strong.
I think they're both buys. I think they're both gifts. I think we were probably a little wrong with Hampton's ADP to start with, so everybody got a really good gift. But even now, like where he's going into the 3-4 turn, I think that's a good buy there. They got a really good offensive line. They rate out very well on the slides that we just.
Did he pause? Did we lose Math? Did we lose me? Let me know what you guys are seeing because he's frozen and I can't hear him. I'm still live. Is he still live? Can you guys hear him? I can't tell if I lost. Okay, Math is frozen. Okay, that's good to know. All right. Yeah, so I'll wait and see if we get Math back. He messaged me that we were waiting on just a few in a marathon. So I have entered a marathon. We need 4 more to get this one going. We can hope to get Math back here. We'll see. All right, he left. I assume he's coming back. We'll see here. But so my approach has been I'm taking Hampton like as soon as like pick 30 is kind of the earliest I'll take Hampton. I take him quite a bit just because if we do get news that Najee's going to miss the first few weeks of the season, something like that, I think Hampton could just take that job and run with it. But I do think that Math makes a good point that like it could be a lot less impactful than we are thinking. I just like I need a little bit more positivity from the team on Najee for me to really chase him up. But yeah, maybe somebody I should be mixing in more than I am. But Hampton for me has been like the big one that I'm taking him mid 3rd round right now. Judkins, Sampson, Ford. This is one where I've been completely staying away from Judkins, taking a ton of Sampson and Ford. And this might be because I'm not a college football guy, so I don't have the background of like thinking Judkins is this amazing player. I know he put up really good stats last year. It's just to me, everything about the situation with Judkins is saying like this guy's probably not going to be starting the season with the team. He's dealing with the legal matter. The team has not signed him to his contract. He has not doesn't seem like he's made any progress in his legal matter. And also just like the things that you're hearing of like the victim has photographs like that to me is always we know that the photographs could come out and suddenly it's a huge PR issue for the team. And this is a running back. This isn't a quarterback. This isn't like, one of the most important players on the team. So it really feels to me like there's a possibility the Browns just don't sign Quinshon Judkins. They have another rookie running back they can give a shot to. Jerome Ford was like actually pretty good last year. I feel like everybody thinks that he was terrible, but like he was 5.4 yards per carry. His explosive run rate was pretty good. He is known to be a good pass catcher. Like I think in that Browns offense, he actually did pretty well last year. All right, Math is trying to jump back on. He's messaging me, so we'll see there. But to me, it's like Ford seems like a pretty good bet. I think he's the one that I am the highest on relative to anybody else I've heard talk about him. I think Ford was like surprisingly pretty good. Like you look at the stats last year, I don't think he was bad, and now he's just dealing with 2 rookie running backs. So I'm pretty in on Jerome Ford at cost. I'm also drafting a lot of Dylan Sampson just because who knows, maybe he's actually really good. And I'm not convinced that Quinshad Judkins is going to play this year. I think it's more likely than not that he misses at least some time. I could, he could sign tomorrow, could be done with legal matter, and I'll be completely wrong. I still don't think that they're like awful bets anyway. Like it's not like I'm taking them at pick 85 and I'm deciding between these running backs and great picks. They're still going late enough that I really like both the Sampson and Ford bets. But right now, I'm largely staying away from Quinshad Judkins. Maybe I'll start mixing him in a little bit more, but he's one I've been a little bit surprised that like none of the ranking sets that I use or hear about seem to have moved him much past pick like 105. And I don't think I'd touched Judkins before like pick 130. Maybe I need to just for like from a risk tolerance standpoint with the volume I'm putting in. But as of right now, I have not been drafting Judkins basically at all. And I've just been drafting a lot of Sampson and Ford. Keenan Allen, I know I wish we had Matthew to talk about this one because I know that he really likes Keenan Allen as a bet. He's probably going to sign somewhere. He wants to go somewhere where he can play. He's probably going to go to a good offense. So I do think that Keenan Allen is an intriguing bet right now. I've drafted some. I don't draft him all the time. I do kind of see him. I think it was Willie Knows Ball actually put out a tweet that said like DeAndre Hopkins is what you want Keenan Allen to be. And I'm like, I don't totally disagree with that. Like, I'm like, DeAndre Hopkins is also, I think still like probably still has some juice, still has the reputation where they're going to get him the ball some, and he is already in a very good offense. So I do still have DeAndre Hopkins ahead of Keenan Allen, but Allen was still like, they targeted him quite a bit last year. He was not bad. He still has some juice, I think. And if he lands in the right spot, could, if he goes to the Niners, for example, I think he could be in a pretty good spot. I have not touched Amari Cooper. I would be curious to hear Math's thoughts on Amari Cooper. But yeah, as of right now, I'm not taking any Amari Cooper. That's it as far as our slides. We are still waiting on here. I'm actually bring up the draft board here. And if Math can't get back in here, and we might be done. We might be done pretty soon because we still got 5 more to start for this draft. So if you want to do a draft today for the marathon, get into the marathon now. We've got 5 more here. Maybe if Matt doesn't come back, I'll just do something else. I'll do a different draft if you guys feel like drafting. Do a BBM or something. All right, but give me a second here to pull up the board. Let's see. There, you can see how many. But I can go to active. Here you'll see how many drafts I'm in right now. Yeah, it's a lot. There we go. There's the marathon. Need 5 more for a marathon. And we do not have the Fantasy Sanctuary immediately following this show today. Last week we timed it pretty well where we cut into theirs a little bit. Looks like they're starting a little bit later today. So you will not redirect there unless you watch it. I mean, this will redirect there, but it won't be immediate. So I don't actually know how that works. Let me look at my messages from Math and let's see. That's what we like to do. All right, it says his computer crashed. He's trying to jump back on. Let's see. It's not back yet. Messaging him real quick. Oh, here he is. All right. There we go.
Sorry, Neil.
Not plugged in.
Our whole network went down at the office. Everybody was
panicking. No. Jeez.
Yeah. IT guy. I was like, I hope I didn't do it.
I bet. Well, we're still waiting. We got what? 5, 6, just 7. We've been waiting on 5. Not sure if this is going to happen for us anyway.
Yeah, I'm in the room right now. I've been tracking it.
Yeah.
But
and that's 5 with you being separate from it, which we could do. We could just, you and I could do could do different streams, but or do different teams. I mean, what's up with names?
What did we talk? We were talking. Did you finish off that?
Oh yeah. Let's go back actually.
Gift. Yeah.
Let me go back to that. All right, we're gonna go back here, and then move that and that back. There we go. All right. So I talked about Najee Hampton. I talked about I'm currently not buying Judkins. Maybe I need to mix them a little bit more, but I've been really buying a lot of Samson Ford. What are you doing with the Cleveland situation?
Yeah, I'm kind of lockstep with you. I'm not huge on the Browns rushing game. I'm like, how much goodness is going to be out of that running back room there? Maybe a couple of touchdowns we had, but it's one of those ones I feel like I missed out on the cheap Samson, and maybe I sprinkle in a little bit of Fords because it's still like a $1-2 player. But again, that's not a big priority for me. I'm more of on the grifts, on the grift.
So you are not in lockstep with me. So I'm not taking any Judkins. I am taking Samson and Ford. But yeah, that's that is the struggle. It is still the Browns. So I definitely understand that standpoint. I've heard it several places. I think it's just the cost is cheap enough to me that could get some touchdowns here. Maybe Samson's better than we're expecting, and Ford to me is just better than I think people think he is.
It's week 17, Neil. It's week 17, man. You look at your team in the finals, and you got Samson, and he's like maybe averaging 7 points a game, 8 points, 10 points a game if you're lucky. It's like, if they weren't playing the
Steelers, I'd be excited if they were playing Carolina. So admittedly, the fact that they're playing the Steelers is not ideal. But like, what if he's just better than we think he is? You don't think there's a possibility that Samson is just like a good NFL running back who like puts up the occasional, 18-point game, something like that?
Sometimes I like to see it first. And
all right,
the Cleveland, to me, the 2025 Cleveland Browns is more of, let's see it first before I invest my hard-earned dollars.
Yeah. And what do we get from Jerome Ford? Let me see what he averaged last year.
He did. Yeah. He had, I know, because he's Liam's boy. I know he had a couple of decent weeks.
Yeah, he had a great week. So 15.9 in week 1, and then didn't do anything basically all season until late in the year. Put up 17.4 and 21.6 in
playoffs, right?
Yeah, 15 and 16.
15 and 16. Yeah, he advanced some teams.
Yeah. I've been making the case for I think I'm on an island. Somebody asked me that on a show last week. Who is your biggest like you're on an island player? I think it's Jerome Ford for me. Just because like I get that he's on the Browns, but again, last year he was on the Browns, terrible team, still put up like 5.4 yards per carry. I understand that's not like a metric that we really care about yards per carry these days, but like explosive run rate pretty good. Like he's an explosive player, can really have those big splash plays. He's involved in the passing game for a bad team, so like he could rack up some passing work as well. So I think at price, to me, Jerome Ford, a pretty strong bet. I mean, it's like everybody else taking Miles Sanders. To me, Jerome Ford is like just as good of a. Miles Sanders on the Cowboys. I get that. So it's pretty close though. So I've taken a lot of Miles Sanders. Now I'm like, I think Jerome Ford also pretty similar.
One thing with Ford, he's pretty explosive. So he's one of those, probably same thing with Samson. We haven't seen it yet, but we've heard he's got that speed that can, that's what we want in those late rounds. That's what we're looking for is explosive players. We don't want volume backs back there because it's not going to pan out well for you.
Yeah. When Judkins signs, how much do things change for you? Significantly. Like neither will be a priority if Judkins signs, and I'm saying if instead of when. I'm not fully convinced that Judkins plays this year.
Exactly. The fact that he's not under contract, like he has no leverage right now.
He has no leverage, and again, like from what we know about the case, like the Browns have more information than we do, and they're saying he's away from the team. We want him to deal with that. There's also the victim has pictures like that has come out. Like there's a lot that's like,
and she wants to press charges.
He wants to press charges.
Oh yeah. That could go bad for him fast.
Yeah. Who says, I think it's 70-30. Yeah. 70-30. Sure. If there's a 30% chance he doesn't sign this year, then to me, Samson and Ford are great picks. If you think there's a 30% chance that Judkins doesn't sign,
especially at that cost, he's still going pretty high still. So like, that's a really good flex player or quarterback that you're taking, you're taking him over that. To me,
right.
That's
tough.
I think I think the market is a little overconfident.
Yeah,
is my stance.
Did the Browns sign Toa Taua from the UFL? Now I'm trying to. I know Toa Taua, who was a UFL stud. I'm not sure if he's going to be great in the NFL. He might be, but he signed, I think, with the Browns. I don't remember. It was some team where I was like, I really don't want him to be an impactful player. Like I like the guy, but I would rather that he not do anything this year. Yeah. Okay, so Keenan Allen, I know is a guy that you are pretty in on. How much Keenan Allen do you have?
A lot, Neil.
Okay.
I have like well over $1,000 so far just on Keenan Allen.
That is all right. That is a stand. So let me read off. Actually, let me see. I think it was Willie Knows Ball who tweeted out that DeAndre Hopkins is who you want Keenan Allen to be. Like people are taking Keenan Allen, hoping that he becomes DeAndre Hopkins, the former star wide receiver who's on a good offense. And I was like, I can't shake that. I was like, I think that might be kind of accurate. Do you think Keenan Allen is just a better player than DeAndre Hopkins, or less washed, or what's the thought process?
I haven't really thought of that. I just know that Keenan Allen is always open. He catches everything thrown his way. He wants to be on a good team, and being on a good team, you're going to be tied to a good quarterback. So again, in the 8th, he's now moved up in the 17th or so 17th, 18th. To me, it's like, other than not being on a team right now, but like he's going to outproduce that value pretty easily. I mean, he was 707 last year on a pretty gross team. He was like their best wide receiver weapon. He was better than DJ Moore last year.
That team was broken. Yeah. And he still put up numbers there. So I think, like, considering the context of the team, his numbers are actually pretty good. Like, people want to write him off as like he's washed, he wasn't any good, but like he wasn't bad all things considered. So yeah,
2 years ago with the Chargers, he was putting up 30 points like nothing.
Yeah,
just 2 years ago. I mean, he's 33, but again, like, with TB12 and all these guys are really kicking that age cliff, and they're pushing it further and further away. Yeah. I know these young bucks, these 20-year-olds are coming in here and with these crazy stats, and they're smart, but it's just the experience that you and I have, Neil, of grinding these games for such a long time. Is what we're here for, to kind of just shine a light with some of these old vets, these salty vets.
It's just
get open.
Adam Thielen from 2 years ago. We all thought he was washed, and then he goes to a new team, and suddenly he's great. Yeah, that experience. And of course, I was out on Adam Thielen, so I don't want to make it sound like the wise man who was in on Adam Thielen when he went off. I was completely out.
We're gonna be wrong, but my eyeballs still think that Keenan Allen has at least a couple years left in him.
Yeah. No, I think that you're right. And could go to San Francisco. That would be pretty fun. Agree with Steve here. Even when Junk and Science, he might go on the commissioner's list as the investigation goes on and then get suspended. So it could end up being well beyond 4 to 6 games exactly. And then finally, you and I have not talked about Amari Cooper at all. Are you buying Amari Cooper?
He's another one where I feel like he's going to want to be on a good team, a playoff level team. It does concern me, but I've been to some rumblings that he was hurt last year with the Bills, and he wasn't 100%. He's only 31 years old, so he's younger than Keenan Allen. He's 2 years younger than Keenan Allen. He's one of those guys out of left field. There's always these guys that just pop up, and like, why didn't we see that coming? And for me, like Keenan and Amari Cooper is kind of those last ditch efforts in wide receiver hungry builds that I like to do these days with drafting elite quarterbacks and our running backs on good teams, because they dry up really fast. So what I've been doing is pushing wide receivers down a little bit and then tacking on a Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper late, even sometimes together. And I have a lot of them together, as my wide receiver 7 and 8 or 5 and 6 or 6 and 7.
Yeah. So I have not taken any Amari Cooper. I think he's going to move up slowly enough that I'm going to have to think about that one, whether it's worth the dart throw there. Because right now I have not heard any like rumblings that he's almost going to sign somewhere. Like with Keenan, it's like he's like putting it out there. I want to sign somewhere. I'm waiting for the right situation. To me, it's like Keenan Allen. It's just a matter of days before he signs. Amari Cooper, I've not heard the same. Have you heard more than I have on Amari Cooper?
It's the same thing. They're testing the waters. They're on the phone. They're just waiting for the right opportunity, because wherever they go, they want to play.
Yeah.
They don't want to ride the pine. So they're trying to find, I feel like these guys have been in the NFL for a long time. They don't need camp. It's nice. It's definitely better for them to be there, getting the reps for their quarterback. But at the same time, like, they'll be able to pick up the offense pretty quickly and then start working on the timing with a quarterback. And again, like, NFL scoring is down to start the season, and it ramps up rapidly throughout. Kind of week 6 on is when it really starts taking off and the offenses start gaining traction. So if these guys do take a little bit to sign in and they're not scoring a lot of points, we're not drafting them to be points getter for our team right away anyway. It definitely will help, being such late round picks when all 18 guys can hit your lineup week 1. But it's just a risk that I'm willing to take versus the uncertainty of a wide receiver 4 or 5 on an offense that might not be condensed. I'd rather kind of take some of these luck boxes and maybe Keenan Allen goes with San Francisco and he's now their wide receiver 1 because of injuries and things like that.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get a draft in today. We still have 5 more. It's been that way for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we got to get you out to the lake. So let me just ask you one more question before we give up on the draft. I mean, should we just give up on the draft? So what I want to hear is your thoughts on the latest report. Chris Weck put out a tweet today. Beat reporter saying Trent Sherfield is a guy that Denver likes as a wide receiver. Have you been drafting? I know you said that you're in on Denver's offense. Have you been drafting much of the like Devon Vele, Troy Franklin, the kind of later guys on Denver? And are you scared of Trent Sherfield? Maybe Troy Franklin, another one. Are you scared of Pat Bryant is the other one that I meant. Are you scared of Trent Sherfield cutting in? Are you buying these guys? What are your thoughts on the Denver wide receiver room?
So with Denver, I'm always scared of Peyton with his a million different formations. With every player is going to have their packages, and there's wide receivers, tight ends, running backs are going to be flying in all the time. So I've been really worried about Pat Bryant. I've been worried about a lot of the Denver wide receiver 2s and 3s. I've been drafting a decent amount of Sutton lately. I like the Sutton with Nix and a running back, just those 3, keep it simple, try to get some touchdowns. And the running backs, just adding them. And I've been kind of hitting it that way. I have, when in really wide receiver hungry builds, I have been tacking on a little bit of Troy Franklin lately. Just the coach speak drum's been having a strong camp. They have such a good rapport from college. He's just a big play down the field type of guy. I've had a couple builds. I've added in some Marvin Mims because he's kind of a gadget guy. I do think he'll be big part of their splash play package when they're trying to get up and then let that defense settle in. They're going to try to utilize him downfield, and all it might take is one play for him to hit your lineup. So I like taking guys like that, or later in the round. Again, I don't like to take that archetype early in the draft. Early in the draft, you want your elite studs, the guys that are going to get a lot of volume, a lot of touchdown potential. And then as I get later in my builds, it's when I start trying to maybe grab a splash play type of guy that I can mix in, and with like a salty vet like Keenan Allen with a Troy Franklin or a Marvin Mims. So it's a kind of high floor, high ceiling type of builds.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna dismiss you so you can go out, get a little bit of sun, get on the water. What do you want to do next week on the show? Do you want to maybe Eliminator or some other contest? Should we figure it out during the week?
Sure. Yeah. Let's pivot to the Eliminator. It's the same type of thing. I think we can build the exact same way. I mean, Pete's video showed that team that I built was, had EV of $31,000. So that was a kick in the junk, but let's try to build one of those.
It just keeps coming for you with that team that won you $0 was worth
35.
so much.
They won me $35.
Oh, that's right. I forget about that. You did get to advance. All right. I'm going to continue. So I'm going to do a BBM draft. I assume you don't want to stay for the BBM draft. You want to go get some sun.
Yeah, if you guys, it's a beautiful day. I'd love to draft a video. Maybe we
could do that. We could just do a regular best ball sometime too. But yeah, we'll do that another time. You go get some sun.
Again, Neil, thanks for the time. Thanks for talking me through that. I'm going to start thinking about road forward a little bit more.
All right, good.
I appreciate it.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Math. We will catch you next Monday.
Yeah, we'll see you. Thanks.
All right, later. All right, I am going to do another draft here. I'm going to do a BBM, but I'm not in yet. So if you want to draft with me, give it a minute here. Let's see. Let me find the right. Uh-oh. Where is the maybe I didn't make a solo. I did not make a solo layout here. Do this. It's not going to work. I'm just going to leave it off. All right. Move that. Put this back on. You guys want to you want to do a BBM? Or should I just do a bunch of slow draft picks? Because I have, as you saw earlier, 1 billion slow draft picks to make. I'm on the clock in many of them, even after doing a bunch. No, I'm gonna put them off. Let's do a BBM. I'd rather just do a fast draft for now. I'm just gonna do one here. Here we go. BBM, 20-second clock. Let's do it. Uh-oh, is there an error? Could not find what you were looking for. Okay. It looked like I was in. What just happened there? Now I need to find it. That was weird. Looked for a second like I was in, and then it kicked me right out. I can see on my phone my draft spot. So I am 10 picks away, 11 picks away. There we go. All right, who's in? Anybody in here with me? I have not checked on chat yet. I'm in the 11 hole. All right. I would hate it so much if Sean Payton goes out and gets Kamara because I have so much RJ Harvey. Pittsburgh, Jets, Falcons, all live for Keenan. I mean, to me, it's the Niners and Chargers still like the likeliest. But yeah, he has a lot of places he could go, and he wants to go where he's going to work. Let's see. I'm going to put some music on here. There we go. Love that. I do need to make a little layout here for myself. I don't see why I'd go back to the Chargers. I mean, it's he wants to play on the West Coast, and it's his old team, and like, I mean, they do have they have pretty good receivers there. What's up, Mike? Kev, both in the draft. Oh, and you are both on each side of me. Don't love that. Never love that. But we'll deal. I did a DraftKings draft earlier. I'm in a slow draft on DraftKings where at the 110, I took Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is not my usual. I usually go Puka when he's available. And then Puka came back to me at the 2.3. I posted this on Twitter already, but did not expect that. Kind of fun. All right. Guess I'll go Amon-Ra. Not the most exciting. but pretty good. On a good team. Math approved, I think. I'm guessing. And then I think I'm going to go, yep, HN. I'm pretty in on HN. After talking with Leone, after watching his show with Gretsch, I think he's a guy that I've come around to. Like, he's just a great pick where he goes. I probably need to get woke to Derrick Henry. I've been mixing him in a little bit more, mostly in lower dollar stuff, just so I'm not like completely out on Derrick Henry, who obviously could just do what he did last year again. My goal is probably like 5% Derrick Henry, I think. But I've seen him fall to like 19 or 20 quite a bit recently, so I'm hoping to get him more in that range rather than taking him in the top half, top for first few picks of the second round. Because I really do like a lot of these bets around there. BTJ, AJ Brown, Drake London, Brock Bowers, all feel like really strong bets to me. Ladd McConkey. So it's tough. It's tough for me to want to reach for him, but sometimes I've been lately seeing Derrick Henry actually fall like at the back end of that tier, which I love. Great username here. My cock is his name. I'm getting so much Genty. He needs to have a solid year. I've drafted a lot of Genty over Derrick Henry, and that's one where I feel like I might just feel really foolish about that by like week 3. Like, why did I draft so much of the rookie in the probably bad offense instead of the vet who has proven himself over and over in the good offense? So that's part of the, as I've thought through that, I've thought I probably need to change my thought process here a little bit around Derrick Henry and get a little bit more. Anything unique going on in this one? Let's see. Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, Bucky falling a little bit. Oh, Marion Hampton over Bucky. All right. 3 running back start here. I'm glad I took HN because this is a running back heavy room so far. JT, I've gotten Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd round kind of a lot lately. Like around pick 30. I think I've gotten him at pick 30, where I've been, Omarion Hampton's on the board, and I've been like trying to pack my Omarion Hampton bags, but then I see Jonathan Taylor there, and I'm like, that's probably just a better bet. Like, get the more unique build there with Jonathan Taylor. Both of the elite, well, the most elite quarterbacks go. I'm trying to get more of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, because you just look at the scoring, they just put up more points than any other position, and they put up more points relative to like the next tier than any other position. So I do think like probably elite quarterbacks are a good idea. They're just like not as fun. So I'm trying to pack my bags there a little bit, but I still usually take Omarion Hampton if he's available. Yeah, I think JSN is the pick here for me. It's not very fun. Maybe it is. Maybe it is fun, and I just need to accept it. Do I want Evans here? I go Kittle. I go Kittle. Evans worries me a little bit. Maybe he shouldn't. with the, Godwin's hurt. Evans continues to do it, but it felt like they had to force their way to get Evans to his 1,000 yards last year. I don't know. Like, are they going to continue to force it every year? Is the offense going to take a step back this year without Liam Cohen? Like, I have concerns there. Missing Trent Wirfs at the start of the year. Who knows how long that's going to linger? Add another exciting rookie receiver. I've got enough concern. I might stream tomorrow, just on my own. Haven't decided fully yet. I've got some other things that I'm working on for the channel, trying to put together like an intro video, a couple different things. So I might just work on those instead of streaming tomorrow, but there's a chance that I'm going to stream tomorrow on my own. On Wednesday, I will definitely be streaming. I've got Justin Herzig joining me at 3 Eastern. That'll be fun. I kind of like this start. Doesn't feel like I had anybody fall to me that I was really hoping would. But at the same time, like, I think Amon-Ra's just a solid first round pick. Devin Achane, a solid second round pick. JSN is okay. Like, I'll take him at 35, and then Kittle 38 seems okay. I don't know. What was going a little bit later earlier, but I think he's still a pretty good bet at 38. Obviously, the dream was to have Omari and Hampton fall to me at 35. That's when I get excited about this draft spot, but I want to be mixing in some JSN. Burrow at 48. This has been a pretty unexceptional draft so far. Like, Hampton going at 20-25 is the only like really notable thing that I see. So all the top 6 all went in the top 6. Puka at 7, McCaffrey at 8. Yeah, just nothing really unordinary about this one so far. What's up, B-Spurf? How we doing? Sadly, math is gone. We tried. We really tried to fill a marathon, and we could not do it this week. So I'll get another BBM in, which I don't mind. It's a more fun draft for me. I think I just know it better. Like, I know the ADPs and stuff. Marathon is still kind of the Wild West for me. All right, who do I want? Jennings. I guess Jennings is a different bye week. I have 2 week 8 buys. Also, he's correlated with Kittle. I like that. And then one of the running backs that comes back. Doesn't really matter which one. All right, James Conner. Harvey does have the same buy as Devin Achane, so a little bit of a tiebreaker there for me towards the vet. There we go. Peace Riff says, I'm good drafting some MLB while watching. Do you play MLB anymore? You're drafting as in on Underdog, I take it. I haven't played MLB in a few weeks now. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I've just gotten too busy with NFL stuff. I had been doing content for Roto Grinders, and I just told them I think I'm going to be done with the MLB content, just focus on NFL. So I think just since I stopped doing content for MLB, I have just leaned into NFL. I want to grow this channel more so. Since I'm not doing content for it, I've decided just to not play MLB recently, focus more on best ball. Wasn't having a great year, not like a terrible year either. I wasn't playing a ton of MLB. I was just playing like the mini max and stuff. But yeah, had not hit any wins, so I don't know. It's kind of fun, but rather focus on NFL stuff. Ibuka at 67. Did not notice that. Also, nobody comes to me for MLB stuff because I'm not like a big MLB guy. I had some success in DFS at MLB, but it was never with player takes. It was never because I'm like, oh, this guy, the velocity, the rotation, the spin on his fastball is faster, whatever. I don't know if you fastball. I was more just yep, I'm gonna stack teams that other people aren't stacking, play the good pitchers, and good enough. So then when you have to give player takes, I don't really have them generally. It was fun at the beginning of the year being super in on Sutter Health Park before a lot of people were. Kept on having just jamming bats in that park and cashing a ton of lineups, but I still never got to the top. So it was frustrating. But then that became the popular thing to do. What's up, Candyman? They are going well, mostly, I think. As long as my takes are right. If my takes are wrong, they're going horribly again. Which is not unlikely. All right, now we're seeing some weird stuff going on. We got Nix and Kyler back to back. These are stacked picks. It's just a little bit early. Interesting. I feel like I like this turn better than this turn. The players available here, there are actually some players that I like taking. Feels good to click them, which probably means I should just pull them up to this turn, but I don't. Mixing at 81 in this one. All right, I could go Diggs here. There's another week 14 bye. I think I'm going to do it though. It's funny, some of the reporting saying Pop Douglas is the clear wide receiver 1 for New England. I'm just not totally buying that. I have a lot of Pop Douglas anyway, so it'd be great for me if that works out, but I suspect it's still Diggs. Can't decide which of these running backs I would prefer. Right, here goes Brian Robinson. Should I just go Aaron Jones? One of my biggest stands has been Jordan Mason, but would it surprise me if it's actually Aaron Jones? It wouldn't. I'm just gonna do it. I'll go Aaron Jones. This one, got to mix him in. I do. Tony Pollard has been one of my most common clicks. I think he's just a great pick where he goes. I like Pacheco. What up, Fact? Good to see you. That's true. Charles says your takes are never wrong. The players' fault for not living up to expectations. My takes are flawless. That's right. Grafer says been taking a lot more Hawkinson lately with the thought of Jefferson potentially missing some games during the season now. I hope I'm wrong, but Hawk should be rising. That is true. So I have not moved off of Jefferson, but that there's certainly a possibility that's an actual injury. I've been assuming that it's just like a veteran not wanting to play during the preseason. And so he's like, yeah, it hurts a little bit. I'm just not going to do training camp because he doesn't really need it, but maybe it actually is an injury. And Hawkinson to me is a fine bet anyway. I like betting on that offense. If I stream tomorrow, should I do Underdog or DraftKings? What's your preference? I prefer drafting on DraftKings because it's more chaotic. It's just more fun to me. I don't know what's going to come back to me. Get Jaden Higgins later. You get all of the rookies go later. So to me, that's more fun. But what do you guys think? All right. Neil says DK. Other Neil. Yeah, Beastwear says, yeah, Patriots are tough. A lot of smart people are in on them, but I'm just not overly excited on them outside of Henderson. I think that's fair. But to me, I like Pop Douglas where he goes. I wouldn't chase him up to the 10th round, but just because he goes late enough, and to me, he probably is the team's wide receiver too. I do like him. Diggs, it's sort of just he falls in a range where I don't love anybody, and I could see him being pretty good. And Drake May, I've been pretty in on. I'm a little bit concerned about him saying that he doesn't want to run as much this year. He wants to default to trying to throw it rather than taking off right away. No, I want him to take off right away. So that is a concern for me with Drake May a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. It is a tough situation. Yeah, this is my thought. Charles says, just got done with the DK draft. So much fun not knowing what will happen. That's my thought. Like I said, I just got Puka at 2.3 on DraftKings in a slow draft. Purdy goes to the Pearsall drafter. Probably wasn't going to make it back to me anyway. Maybe. I think I actually am right around his ADP. I think I just go Drake May here. I've been buying the dip on Justin Fields. And that's been fun. Yeah. I'm not super in on Jaylen Warren. I take him some if I need him, but I've got 3 solid running backs already. Could just go Goff. I don't have a lot of great options later. Could not queue him. There we go. I guess I could have gone Dobbins there. I do think I need to mix in a little bit more Dobbins probably. JJ McCarthy. Love that. I usually don't take JJ unless I have one of Addison, Jefferson, or Hawkinson. So like Aaron Jones for me, not quite enough. All right, everybody's agreeing. Definitely DraftKings. Again, undecided if I'm going to stream tomorrow. Mondays and Wednesdays are like the two dates that I'm always going to be streaming. But I think I'm going to start mixing in some more days. So yeah, maybe I'll do DK tomorrow. Yeah, I agree. Puka should not fall to 2.3. Yeah, Mike, lock in. Don't take my guys though. I just got invited to a DraftKings league. I usually don't join those. Just fair warning. Somebody here just sent me that. Maybe I'll take a look at it if I remember later. But I mostly just like playing GPPs. I've thought about playing a little bit more like cashy type stuff this year, but it's just more fun for me playing GPP style contests. Yeah, I have not done this yet. Mr. Griever says, I like the King of the Desert drafts on DraftKings. Would be cool to win a trip to Arizona for a Super Bowl DFS. Is this a Super Bowl contest? That's interesting. And yes, I will. I'll note that you corrected your spelling. Oh yeah, I guess the Fantasy Football World Championship is in December. That's something else in the Super Bowl. Is it the Fantasy Golf World Championship the same weekend or something? No, not Fantasy Golf World Championship. I was actually just there. That was just in Minnesota as a guest. But I thought they had some other the Scottsdale thing. Is that the same weekend? Is King of the Desert dual NFL and PGA? I don't think I realized that. But yeah, I have not done any of those qualifiers yet. Yeah, waste management. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it is dual. That would be fun. So this is where Judkins is falling back to me. I have not taken any Judkins around this price, but it's like 20 picks past where all the sites have him ranked. Actually, I don't remember if I moved him from the rankings at ETR. Do I just do it? Kirk is there. I can't do it. I can't get myself to do it. I like the Samson bet, like straight up better than the Judkins bet right now. Which could, again, this is one that I could look so foolish very, very soon. And I recognize that. But the vibes are so bad with Quinshon Judkins right now. Do I want that in my locker room? I'm going with the third quarterback here. That is true. Go Izzy. Charles says, winning $2 million and paying for your own trip would be more fun. I agree with that. All right. K Money goes Judkins at 135. That feels fine. Like, I really thought about it. With my picks. I'm going to try mixing it in some because I don't want to like be completely out on a guy who seems to be a good play. I've already got a pretty strong running back here. There are some running backs that I like later on. I've already got Achane, Connor, and Aaron Jones. So like I think I'm in an okay spot. Some other dart throws I prefer. Again, don't think anything too odd is going on in this draft. Oh no, did I sniped you? You're going for it? Apologies. You locked in and then I locked you out of what you're trying to do. I did the script says that is definitely a goal to winning fantasy money, a nice vacation somewhere for a week with a beach. One of the more fun things that I've won in fantasy, because like mostly it's just money, but back in 2022 maybe or so, I won it was a slate that it was Thanksgiving Day, and I missed out on I missed lineup lock on DraftKings. I had like an issues with my CSV, so on DraftKings I missed out, and there was some I forget what who the running back was. I think Detroit running back maybe, but there was like late news that the starter was going to be out and the backup became like an awesome play. And I was trying to get to so much of the backup, but I missed lock and didn't get my lineups in. So I think I would have crushed. I never actually went back and looked at what I would have done, but I think I was going to crush on the DraftKings main slate based on the players I tried to play, but didn't get them in. So I was like super frustrated, and like it actually did not ease it that much for me, but I won the main slate on Yahoo, which was $10,000 plus $5,000 MGM credits. So you had to use it at MGM properties, but had $5,000 to spend on a trip. And it felt so swanky, like going to, so we went, myself, my wife, and then my wife's sister and her husband went out to Vegas. All right, I got to make my pick here. Algier, Eckler. All right, a lot of the picks I liked were gone. I'll go Algier. Yeah, I was sort of hoping for a Nick Chubb or a Tank Bigsby here, and they're both gone. But Algier is a pretty good bet here. Could go Dobbs. All right, we're going Eckler. So anyway, pretty cool. So like it's one of the few like non-monetary things I've won was you get $5,000. You have to spend it in Vegas at MGM properties, and we were just going for 4 days. But we went and like got like super nice steaks and got cabanas by the pool. It was a really fun trip. So there is something to like winning money is cool and paying for yourself is cool, but like there is something about like it felt like I'm not paying for it with my money, because it was like I can't spend this anywhere else. It's like it's fake money, and I just get to like I'm being forced to live the VIP life. Whereas like just having the money, usually it's like, oh, I'm going to do the responsible thing, put it in savings, whatever. But just like I can't do anything responsible with this. Sorry, I've got to eat steaks and got to go get fancy alcohol. That was a good time. Apparently, we're not good at spending money, because we left Vegas with like $300 that we had not spent, and we couldn't save it. It was like you have to spend it on that trip, and we were not able to spend the full $5,000. In our defense, you could not spend it on like tips and stuff. Were not included in the $5,000. Tips and like service charges, whatever. So it was like has to be on the meals or the experience itself. Otherwise, yeah, obviously would have been easy. And then also our final dinner was like, all right, we're going to go out after this, but it was like still it wasn't I think it was 2022. So it was a year after, maybe it was 2021, because like COVID was still kind of a thing that was like keeping things like more difficult. Like it was hard to find open bars and stuff, and it was a Sunday night, so it was like we went out thinking, all right, let's go find fancy alcohol. We went to a bar, and it was like a lot of the bars were closed. We go to a bar that like seemed like it would be good, and we asked them like, all right, what's your most top shelf liquors and stuff, because we had, you know, $400-$500 to spend at that point. We spent some of it, but like they did not have great top shelf liquor options, which kind of caught us off guard. And they like seemed, I don't know, like they were surprised by the question of like, what are your top shelf options? So it was, yeah, we were disappointed in ourselves to not spend that money. Yeah, it was pretty cool. They did shows, I think, would have counted. They did count toward food for sure. I'm not sure about shows. Yeah, like exactly. It was fun. Like I had to. We could not use it on the website. It had to be on MGM properties. The strangest thing was, so it was a Yahoo promotion that I swear they'd been running for like a year at that point, where it was like you win, you get, mine was only $5,000, but some were like $10,000 to MGM. And nobody seemed to have any idea what we were talking about. Like at Yahoo, I had to like message them multiple times, like, hey, I won this trip. I'd like to go on this trip. You haven't like emailed me or anything. And it was like a pain to like get them to like set it up for me, to like show me like, okay, here's your credits. I had to like prove that I had won this thing. And then MGM also seemed to have zero idea what was going on. Like, what are you talking about? It's like a whole thing. Like nobody seemed to know what I was talking about. Like nobody had taken advantage of this trip before us, apparently. Where did Pop go? Oh, here you go. Okay. Could have done that with the last one. Noel seemed to have good practice today. Or maybe he just had one great catch that everybody reposted 100 times. I don't know. Do I take my Keenan Allen share in honor of Mathology? I guess I've already got 6 receivers. Want at least one more, though. I don't feel that great about Kate Otten or Miles Sanders. Let's do it. That is in honor of Mathology. It's nice that I have Kittle, so I can take a week 8 bye tight end. A lot of my favorites toward the end have that week 8 bye. And he escort services. I was there with my wife, and I have no idea, but probably. Am I using the undervalued analysis? We used your analysis at the beginning of the show, Drew. We talked about it a little bit. I am not familiar with Beecher's Madhouse. What is that? It's, by the way, the only time I've ever been to Vegas, so I'm not the person to answer Vegas questions. A friend of mine is turning 40 next year. He's thinking about doing a Vegas trip. He's never been to Vegas either, so I might be going back next year. It's in MGM. That does not. You're avoiding the question, Patrick. What is it? Do I want to know? Yeah, thanks for the reminder. C-Money. Like the stream. I have not said it yet on the stream. Should have said it when Matt was still here. Maybe a different audience. But yeah, if you could, like the stream, Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the little notification bell to get alerts when I go live. Going to be happening a little bit more, I think, going forward the rest of the month, at least Mondays and Wednesdays, probably some other days as well. Maybe some other posted content that is not streamed. Would appreciate it. And if you comment on the video, that also helps quite a bit. Yeah, this is my thought. Madhouse sounds like some bad stuff goes down after dark. Exactly. You've been to Vegas 3 times. It was super fun. And also my wife's sister and her husband had lived there for a couple of years. So they like knew how to show us around, which I think is good, having some people who have some experience with the city. Just 2 picks left in this one. There, we get the answer. It's like a cabaret nightclub with furry performers. Great for a pregame. All right. Kyle Pitts drafters hang out there. Are you on any season-long bets yet? So I'm in Minnesota where I can't really bet on seasonal stuff, but I have done a couple underdog cards. I'll read off some of the stuff I've taken there. Who do I like here? I do kind of like Chig. I'm going to go Chig here, even though he doesn't have the week 8 bye. Which I could do. I can't decide what I think of Brashard Smith. I've taken a fair amount. So I feel like my bags are sort of already packed there. I'm trying to get more of Tyler Higbee. I'm going to do that instead. Is that boring? Going Tyler Higbee instead of Brashard Smith. All right, we're going Brashard Smith. I only had 5. Could have gone either way there, but I got Kittle. I feel pretty good about that. All right. Oh yeah. Let me look up my season-long stuff. So this is on Underdog. I can tell you what I've taken on Underdog. I know I've taken under 1,499 rushing yards for Saquon Barkley. So I did this 7-pick card here. I had higher than 21.5 passing touchdowns for CJ Stroud. And by the way, zero like looking at stats went into this. It was just, this is all gut feel. This is how I play. Because I'm in Minnesota, I don't do a lot of it. I just want to like have fun with it. So I was just like looking through the numbers. I like that one. I like that one. I did lower than 649.5 receiving yards for Jack Besh. Higher than 3.5 receiving touchdowns for Trey Harris. Lower than 37.99, so essentially lower than 3,800 passing yards for Matthew Stafford. Lower than 999.5 rushing yards for Christian McCaffrey. Higher than 824.5 receiving yards for Ted McMillan. Lower than 1,499.5 rushing yards for Saquon Barkley. So that's the first one. And then I also did 6-pick one. Higher than 25.5 passing touchdowns for Jordan Love. Lower than 23.5 passing touchdowns for Tua Tagovailoa. Lower than 649 for Jack Besh again. Higher than 25.5 passing touchdowns for Dak Prescott. Lower than 524.5 rushing yards for Rachaad White. And again, I did the Saquon under 1,500. I think that's a good number for Hawkinson 6.5. I'd probably take the over there. Imagine the Philly Fanatic doing some blue material. At 5K subscribers, are you giving away a free flannel? Maybe. That's not a bad idea. I actually today we walked over to, there is a merch store, or I don't know what you call it, a design store that's like literally around the corner from me, and I had never even knew it was there. I was like looking for, all right, I want to get some merch for the Flannelverse, and we're looking all over different sites, and then my wife's like, well, what about that place around the corner? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And it's like literally right there. Like we drive by it every time we come home, and I had never noticed that there was a like print shop, I guess you call it, right around the corner from us. But I walked over there. Very nice people. So hopefully going to have some merch by football season. So yeah, if I have some merch by the time I get to 5,000 subscribers, which seems like a pretty likely thing, then maybe I will. Maybe I will give away a free flannel. Should I do one more draft? I'm thinking about doing one more. Well, I guess they're not starting at 5:30 today. I was going to say I could do one more and then it'll be right in time for the sanctuary to start immediately after, but they are not starting at their usual time today. But maybe I'll do one more anyway. Let's do one more BBM and then I'm out. Kind of had a pee for a while now, but like only a little bit, so I can make it through one more. I think one of the next, I'm working on some, and by working on, I mean I've done very, very little, but I would like to make a video for just taking piss breaks, and just like I can do marathon streams where I just throw a video on the screen for a couple minutes while I take a piss break. I think that's top priority for me. I need an intro video so I can do like the intro, then play a little video, then you come back on with your guest. That's how everybody else does it, and I just I don't have a lot of video editing experience. I'm trying to get there, but I'm not there yet. Yeah, Hawkinson at 3.5 is really low. I like that number quite a bit. All right, we're back. I'm in the 11 hole. Oh, the what's in here? Good to see the what. Fellow Minnesota guy. WD Simp, I feel like I know. Anybody else? Agent 89, Todd 69. That's true. Where depends, and I would never have to get up. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. But also, I can make a piss break thing where I'm just like showing football highlights. Might be kind of a fun break. They say you're supposed to like switch up what you have on the screen, show different things. And I think it's true. Like I've realized that I always enjoy if I'm watching something and then suddenly they're playing a football clip. I love it. It's always fun. So like, why don't I do that? Draft board is cool and all, but I did want neighbors there. I think I've taken enough Amon-Ra. I've had my vegetables. Nico to me is like a slightly sexier pick. Do other people see it that way? I think it's partially the different bye week. You know how I love my different bye weeks. I collect them, unique bye weeks. Then I'll go Genty. What is the sexiest pick? I think it's Hampton for me. That's what I wanted. Obviously, like other than like a fall, like I mean, like at ADP or at where you can, normally draft them. Yeah, St. Brown, definitely a solid floor pick. Love to see it. Make Mr. Grapefruit betting on the Vikings. That's what you want to do. Dylan Sampson, if I can get him anywhere near ADP, it's just he usually goes earlier than his ADP. Like his ADP is moving quickly. Nick Chubb is actually up there. Not just because of the name either. If I get Nick Chubb at like 165, that's exciting. I don't have to make the pun, do I? Hampton goes at 27 in this one. 26. No, yeah, 27. Sad to see Allen and Lamar moving up. Wish I had drafted more earlier. I think I've got fatigue on drafting Devonta Adams. Like I have a fair amount, but I still really like the click. I don't think I'm going to go McLaurin here. Who else is available? This is a range I don't love. Maybe I just go Kittle again. Is like the back half of the board I generally like, but like needs to fall just right. Just so. I guess it could go Jaden and McLaurin. But after getting that combo on the other side of the board on DraftKings, it's just it's not as exciting. Doesn't do it quite as much for me. Do I want Breece Hall? I'm just going to go Mike Evans. Nobody has answered my question. Who is the player that excites you the most when you click them right now? I just need to phrase it differently. Where you're like, yes, that is the player that I wanted. What would be the best ball version of winning the career Grand Slam? Is it BBM, DK Millie, and yeah, it's definitely those two. I mean, FanDuel Millie. Maybe just like winning on 3 different sites. There we go. These are some answers I like. Turpin for me is a really fun final click. I always feel good about that. Rashid Shaheed and Jaden Higgins, definitely with you on Higgins. Shaheed probably should excite me more than he does. I click it some, but I'm not like, yes, this is a player I want. It's more like, yeah, I guess he fit my team. Worthy would, like, when I get him at like 45, Worthy feels that way to me. I really like this one, Egbuka. Yeah, that's but it's also like all of these are dependent on cost. Like I don't get that feeling when I take Egbuka at like 72. Maybe I should, but to me it's more like if I can get him at cost. I think on the Establish the Edge podcast, Leone sort of hinted at Egbuka being this year's Brian Thomas Jr., like the guy that he thinks could just be way better than ADP. Which hearing that, just when I hear a direct comparison like that, then it makes me like start to imagine a little bit more. Like, oh yeah, this guy's not like competing for the wide receiver 3 spot. What if he's just really, really good and playing with some dusty vets and a guy who was not drafted as high as him last year? Like, all right. So I do like that bet. Yeah, I don't do a ton of heavy RB, more this year than last year, but yeah, Burden's kind of interesting there. Laporta or Hawk, that's an interesting one. I don't feel like many people feel that way about Laporta and Hawkinson. Kongu, I can see that for sure. I know Tom Strachan from Fantasy Sanctuary. Oh, I'm on the clock. Shoot. No, I'm not. I'm not on the clock. I thought I was for a second. He really likes Laporta, so I'm trying to mix him in. Waddle goes. Screw it. I'm going Jennings. Building a kind of similar team to last time, but I like too many of these running back options, so I figured I'd push it around the corner. Also, Travis Hunter there. I guess it could have gone that way. Yeah, maybe I should have gone Hunter. Semi-regret there. Not major regret, just semi-regret. All right, here I'll take Harvey. I really do like Jennings, which is why I don't have major regret. Favorite stack not reaching is Mahomes, Kelsey, especially on DraftKings. You have to go like pick 90-ish to take him on DraftKings, right? Doesn't Kelsey go pretty early? But yeah, it seems like the Chiefs are, set up to probably score a lot of points this year. Rashee Rice might miss some time. Will miss some time. But Kelsey could. I mean, he says he's ready to rock. He's planning on playing all year. I struggle with Kelsey just because I'm too nervous about him being involved still at the end of the year. Like, I think the aging, maybe they just kind of rest him a little bit, but who knows? It could still be that dude. Yeah, Higgins is definitely a great one for me. Like, I love taking Shaden Higgins, particularly on DraftKings, where you can get him at his ADP is 108, which seems pretty crazy to me. It's probably not crazy. It's probably fair, but I actually really like Trey Harris too. I feel like I sort of got away from clicking Harris all the time because of the contract dispute, which probably bad process, but I had a lot of them already, so I was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna go for this Higgins guy who's already signed, got a guaranteed deal. Team clearly loves him. So I moved Higgins ahead of Trey Harris, but to me, they're both really, really strong bets. And Harris goes later on both sites. So I think I need to get back in the Harris business. And you can kind of double click him with Justin Herbert also. Was this the same guy who took the two relatively early quarterbacks in the last one? They're both stacked up, so it's not like I hate it. Just it's interesting. Might have been able to push Kyler to 92. Might have been able to push Burrow to 53. But also, this is one of those ranges where it's maybe he just doesn't care for the players in the range, so who cares? Buka goes at 79. I think I did Jones last time. I think I'm going to do Pollard this time. Josh Downs feels pretty good. I could go Mixon here. I feel feel like I maybe wait till the 90s. Maybe that's where my line is now for Mixon. But he feels like he's definitely a better bet than Judkins to me. I mean, yeah, I feel like Travis Hunter may be the most polarizing player in best ball right now. And I think he probably should be. Like, he's a freak. He could be amazing this year. Absolutely crush that ADP. Or he could play, 50% of offensive snaps. I mean, this river says, I feel like I'm too low on Dak and I've never really avoided him, but only have like 10% of him in best ball. You're over the field. To me, quarterback is one of the positions that I am super flat on in general. And because you're only taking, 2 or 3 of them on most teams, you just end up with lower numbers on them. So like 10% probably would have been like my 5th highest exposed quarterback last year. Seems like a fine number because you're probably only taking him when you have either CD or Pickens generally most of the time, unless he falls past ADP. That's funny. Go Easy Card says, second-year quarterbacks scare me, especially when I draft 2 on the same team. I don't feel that at all. I click them super confidently. Bo Nix, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Caleb, I'm a little bit less confident in. Jaden Daniels, Love. I'm super in on the second-year quarterbacks. It's interesting. Jaden scares me from did we run pure with Jaden staying healthy last year? Because he was, people were not drafting him last year because they were so worried about this skinny guy runs so much. And then we have 1 year where he stayed relatively healthy. And now it's like, all right, we're not worried about that anymore. So now I'm starting to be like, all right, this is kind of an expensive price point for a player that seems like he could be a little bit more fragile. But I said it last year that part of the reason I was confident in drafting Jaden where he was going was Field Yates had the said that he heard from somebody that they were not concerned about. I think it was heard from somebody they weren't concerned about Jaden Daniels because he's Gumby, he's thin, but he's super elastic, so his injuries are not super serious, and that was enough to I can kind of visualize that as being maybe he won't get hurt. So I drafted him pretty confidently last year, but now we go so early that I'm not I don't know. It's a little bit tougher. I still think it's a pretty strong pick. Fields goes. Are we no longer getting the Fields dip? There's a little while. I think I got him at pick 119 in a draft, but it was a draft where I already had 3 quarterbacks, so I was still somewhat reluctant. Or I had to. He was my 3rd, but I had an elite. When I already have 2 by pick 119, it's do I really want an unstacked Justin Fields here? But I did it because it felt like it's going too low. All right, Purdy. I am going to go Trey Harris here. Just talking about getting back in on the Trey Harris business. All right, what notification did I just get? I don't know. Just got one somewhere. Oh well. Last skinny Washington quarterback to smash the rookie year was RG3, just saying. Yeah, I guess that's true. One rule in DK, draft a Detroit player because Goff falls a ton, crazy in a quarterback hungry format. It is pretty interesting. Yeah, this is a rare one for me to be able to double stack Purdy. The last one, somebody took him on a pure salt team. It's just because like there are so many options, I think. So this is I got Jennings and Kittle, got Purdy right at ADP, but because some people want to take Ayuk earlier, so then if they have Ayuk, they'll take him. But then generally it's just like the pure salt drafter will take him early. Or the CMC drafter. A lot of people just do that stack. So yeah, too many stacking options for Purdy a lot of the time. Yeah, it does. It does make me happy also to double stack Purdy. 49ers go Burr. You heard it. Heard it earlier. Mathology said it. Seems true. There goes Herbert. I was hopeful. It's going to make it back to me. Yeah, goes with Amari and Hampton. Tootin goes. Not really getting a fall there with the hamstring injury. Did Judkins go? Is Sampson coming up before Judkins here? Oh, he did. Yeah, he went at 115. I agree with that. I'm not super excited about Ayuk right now. He shows up in the sidekick pretty frequently, and he's one that I IKB off like the most. All right, I'm not gonna be able to add Christian Kirk to my double stack with Stroud, but I'm going Stroud here, I think. Yeah, we're doing it. Got Nico. What will the what do? Trevor Lawrence. I thought about doing Trevor Lawrence. If I'm remembering correctly, the what does not use any kind of tools. He's just using the noggin. David Njoku, a bit of a fall here. I'm tempted to just go Samson though. Should I just take Njoku? Like, is that enough of a fall? Screw it. We'll go Njoku. It's enough of a fall. Instead of just playing the old hits again. Go Easy Card says, I treat Ayuk like a rookie, hoping for a strong finish. I mean, that is, yeah, the hope, of course. It's just, I'm not sure how long the injury is going to linger. But yeah, like Beastburf says, it's like he's going to be an Ayuk for the first, or he's going to be, a 0 for like the first 8 weeks. Whereas Trey Harris, Jaden Higgins, like they might be good from the start. They'll probably at least be something. And then, like, once he comes back, is he going to have to ramp up for a while? It's just, it's unclear if this is a totally lost year for Ayuk or if he's going to be something later in the year. What's my build at? I'm at 2-3-5-2, so pretty balanced so far. Xavier Liget seems pretty polarizing. I am in the no Liget train. Don't draft a lot. I know I've seen other people in my Discord sometimes take him like pick 120. Just like cannot get enough of Liget. To me, he wasn't that good last year. Not really expecting him to take a step forward after they added Tet McMillan. Seems like not the best bet for me, but maybe he's just better than I think he is. Maybe he just needs, maybe year 2 is when he breaks out. That's a good question. Are you team Jack Besh or Dante Thornton? I think I am slightly more team Besh. Yep, I just took Tyler Algier by accident. I'm not that mad at it though. I kind of like it. Kind of needed him on my team. But yeah, that was not intentional. I totally looked away. I probably would have gone Nick Chubb instead, but Algier seems like a good bet. Good fit for this team. Stafford, love to get Stafford here. Stafford one where he has multiple, like 3 different back stack options that I really like. So as a third quarterback, where it's a different buy than the other 2, really like that. But yeah, that would have probably been Nick Chubb if I was paying attention. But honestly, Tyler Algier might just be the better bet. Better offense, clear contingent upside. He's been good when he plays. But yeah, I think Jack Besh, earlier draft capital, now he is mixing in with the ones too. Like I think the concern was he's just not really practicing. The fact that he's mixing in with the ones tells me like, okay, I think they're still planning on playing him a fair amount. I think they're both pretty good bets where they go though. Besh and Thornton. What do you think of Scadaboo? Pretty torn on him. I am also pretty torn on Scadaboo. I draft him. I'm probably close to the field on Underdog. So yeah, the way I've been approaching it is mostly getting my exposure on DraftKings, where he often falls to like 120, 130. There, I'm like really happy to click him. On Underdog, like I'm not going to take him ahead of Jordan Mason, for example. So I don't end up taking a ton. But he seems like a pretty good click where he goes. Like he's on the Giants, which I don't love, obviously. Don't know what the split's going to be with Tyrone Tracy. I suspect he's going to have at least a like 1B kind of role, but I don't know. I don't feel great about my read on that situation, and because I don't feel great about it, and it's the Giants anyway, and they go early enough, I don't take a ton. But also this, as Go Easy Card says, when I'm behind an RB, I draft Scadaboo. Like if Jordan Mason is off the board, I usually take Jalen Warren ahead of Scadaboo also. So like if those guys are off the board and Scadaboo's there, happy to click them. I have a ton in rookies and sophomores. Draft a lot of Scadaboo there. Got a message from my wife. Need to print something, but can't do it right now. All right. Jalen Knoll. Oh, Nick Chubb is still there. All right. I got to go Chubb here. I almost took him at the last turn. I do have the Houston stack, but I also have a ton of Jalen Noel and other LA Rams that I want to add to this. Man, I got Chubb at 179 here. Did not think I would ever see Chubb past ADP again. Yeah, I guess it's a stack. Fun little Houston thing going on with Stroud, Nico, Jalen Noel, and Nick Chubb. You really want to bet on the team with the worst offensive line in the game. I think that's what math said, right? Okay, yeah, we're in the same boat. Mason and Dowdle, your two highest running backs. I like it. I think Mason going to be pretty good this year. Beastburf have taken Dowdle. I have not taken a ton of Dowdle. What's the reason for taking Dowdle there? What, like, you like him better than Miles Sanders, I assume, if he's your highest owned, like they go in the same range. I feel like I've taken a ton of Miles Sanders because to me it's like he might just be the RB1, whereas Dowdle is more of a, needs something to happen to Chubb. Probably the passing down running back right away. But then you've also got Trevor Etienne there. And they're on the Panthers, so I generally take Sanders over Dowdle. I've been mixing him in some, but he was like fine last year, but he wasn't like a world beater. I believe 2 years ago, I was on the leaderboard for people who drafted Rico Dowdle the most in BBM. I think. But that was the year that he usually went undrafted, even after the Cowboys named him their RB2. What were those picks? Miles Sanders, Sam Darnold. Beast says, I just don't think Chuba is much better than Dowdle. Yeah. Go Easy Card says, Carolina drafted Brooks. He got hurt again. This year they went out and signed Dowdle. It just feels like they want someone other than Hubbard. So are you guys completely out on Chuba Hubbard? It's like Chuba was pretty good last year, I thought. Let's see. Do I have any open? Advanced rushing. See, 4.78 yards per carry, 6% explosive run rate seems fine to me. Let's see, 0.17 missed tackles forced per attempt. I get his volume, that's pretty good. Like ranked 26 in the NFL, but like a lot of the players ahead of him had lower volume. I don't know. I think he was like for those numbers in the Panthers offense to me is like seemed pretty good. Not involved in the passing game at all. To me, it was more like they didn't like what they saw from Chuba from a pass catching standpoint, so they went out and got Dowdle as the pass catching back. Is sort of my assumption. So like they'll eat into Chuba's role a little bit. But maybe there's more to it than that. Yep, I'm on the clock. Tutu Atwell, come on down. don't think I like Roman Wilson there. Try to go Keenan again. Is Higbee still there? Here's Higbee. All right, we're going to double up Stafford. There you go. Final team is Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, Matthew Stafford, Ashton Genty, RJ Harvey, Tony Pollard, Tyler Algier, Nick Chubb, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, Jawan Jennings, Josh Downs, Trey Harris, Jalen Knoll, Tutu Atwell, George Kittle, David Njoku, and Tyler Higbee. So I've got double stack with Purdy, I've got double stack with Stroud, and I've got double stack with Stafford. I've also got Nick Chubb on the Houston stack. I like it. I like that team. Really nice value on Chubb. Let's see anybody else in here. I mean, the what? I don't even know if he's here. He has not talked at all. But he's got Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, and Daniel Jones, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, Aaron Jones, Ray Davis, Will Shipley, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Xavier Worthy, Deebo Samuel, Travis Hunter, Keon Coleman, Pop Douglas, Tiami Brown. Oh, I did that too early. When somebody makes a pick, then it just flips back. Okay, go easy cards. I'm out on Hubbard. Beast says I also go wide receiver early quite a bit. My build kind of forced it. Yeah, that happens to me too. I did my stream last week, and I was through 175 consecutive streamed Best Ball Mania drafts, and I said it on that Wednesday stream that was going to be the end of my streak of streamed Best Ball Manias, and I've done a ton of them since then. I mean, I've entered slows, I've done some fast drafts. Maybe a ton is a bit of an exaggeration, but I have in fact stopped streaming all of my Best Ball Manias. All right, let's see. So 6 fast drafts done since then, including this one, these 2. So yeah, I haven't done that many fast, but I've entered 10 to 15 slows, I think. Finishing off the What's team, Deebo Samuel, Travis Hunter, Keon Coleman, Pop Douglas, De'Ami Brown, Tyler Warren, Bretton Strange, Noah Gray. So he's got Mahomes with Worthy and Noah Gray, Trevor Lawrence with Travis Hunter and De'Ami Brown and Bretton Strange, so he's really well correlated too, and Daniel Jones with Tyler Warren. Okay, nice. And that's Game Stack, Jacksonville, and the Colts. Kansas City with their Denver, right? I didn't do any game stacks, or at least I didn't spend a lot of focus on it. Did I luck into any? I don't think I spent much time on it, but I was using the Sidekick, which may have given me some. San Francisco, I don't think I took any Bears. Houston Chargers. Is that right? Houston the Chargers. So I have Trey Harris, if I'm remembering that right. And then the Rams play the Falcons. I have Tyler Algier. Okay, nice. A little bit of week 17 game stack. All right. Yeah. Thank you all for hanging out. Appreciate you. I might do Eastern stream tomorrow, 4 Eastern. We'll see. If I don't decide to just keep working on some short videos instead. Gray or Royals would have been better. I think both are fine. Like honestly, I don't feel that strongly. I guess looking at his team specifically. So it's 3-5-7-3. I think I like Gray there. Could have gone either way though. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, hit the little notification bell if you want to get alerts when my shows go live. Probably see you, well, I shouldn't say probably, it's like 50-50 that I'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise, Wednesday, 3 o'clock Eastern with Justin Herzig. We'll be doing, I think, just one draft together, and then I'll continue going for 2 or 3 more after that. Yeah, and then we'll see what else I have going for the rest of the week. That's what I've got planned so far. Thank you guys very much. I'll catch you later.